Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk Together. This is our weekly show on a Friday where we talk together about Dungeons and Dragons. Other stuff as well sometimes, but mostly Dungeons and Dragons. And this time specifically, you can see I have the cast of Trust and Glass arrayed around me. So we're here to talk about that because we just finished that. We also did have a debate about because the entirety of the current Talk Together crew is part of this. So who hosts? Me, I'm the loudest.
Yes, you. Go on, you've got to make yourself a persona.
It's going to be going inviting people over for tea, shenanigans, and therapy. That's it.
Again, perfect.
That's most of talking as a free action. You know? Just so you know, before we start properly, this stream will run for about an hour. Thank you very much to our sponsors, Phoenix Dice, Eldwood Academy, and Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. And a huge thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon. You're all wonderful, marvelous people, and we do everything we do for you, and we couldn't do it without you. So they're great. If you wanted to find us in a social media capacity, or in a podcast capacity, or in a watch this after the stream capacity, just look for Roll Together RPG. You'll find us on the YouTubes and the Twitches and the social media, whatever the plural is of that. Tom's gone into deep thought now.
Media is the plural.
Yeah.
Medium would be the singular.
Medium. Oh, Nat, you've made yourself a fool on the internet.
Stupid English language. It's fine. Ignore it.
Fine.
So look for us there, and you'll find us. We're here to talk about Trust and Glass. I have the list of official end of campaign questions, but I think the most pressing questions for me are, Tom, what? And 2, did we just save the universe by courting a Tarrasque? Which I guess that's actually a quick answer. That's yes.
Yes, I'll answer the last question. Yes, you pretty much have. I actually, so for those of you who are watching, that version of the Tarrasque turned up in Busy Bees Free, the Fury Road. What was it? The Furry Road. Furry Road. And I spoke to Chris and informed them that the Tarrasque had come back. And Chris stared at me and just went, "As long as you're having fun." I was like, I sure am. Yes. I mean, this is a problem. As soon as we've opened up the multiverse the characters got into as well. It's like, well, we think our universe matters. And then the gatecrashers are like, interesting. So that version of the Tarrasque is now just happy. It's having a lovely date glued to a giant bone monstrosity. So that's certainly, I mean, the trigger was pulled on that version of the Tarrasque. There are other Tarrasques. Other Tarrasques are available, like Caterpillar Cakes. This one is the Tarrasque. I actually saw like a homebrew thing, which was the deck of many Tarrasques.
No.
One was like, it would summon one, it would summon a turn, or you now think you are the Tarrasque. Nothing has changed, but you now go through life with that attitude. As for what? Yeah, good question. I did do a lot of planning, just to have stuff in the background, but then was very much like, this is just going to happen. There is a list of other possible worlds you could have gone to, which I will save for another adventure. But when it's just like, we're in the Feywild. A lot of people have a connection to the Feywild, or in the case of Alt Georgie, intentionally do not have a connection to the Feywild. Also, the wonderful thing of as a DM, you're like, yeah, also something really huge was going on behind the scenes. There's been a revolution. You weren't there. So we can throw that open to other DMs, or maybe I'll just go, okay, guys, 4-parter, while that's going on. Meanwhile, everyone's just running up and down the corridor, and someone's like, oh no, they put a Tarrasque in a ring. Oh, trickery. That's
the thing. For a 4-parter, there was a lot that potentially could have happened there. So I applaud you for preparing so much, but also, I mean, we can fill a 4-parter with waffle so easily.
Yeah, and I'm glad every episode ran exactly to time, and and there were no moments where I just sat back and was like, I'm going to let this happen. 20 minutes of, I think I know we get to like, what did you enjoy? Me just being able to go, right, everyone, characters, just talk to each other. And then we have to go, wait, you're looking in his eye. Okay, there's stuff going on. And you're like, what? You're like, yeah, Loki's in his eye. Carry on. Jakarth's now a dog. Let's just keep working. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to start with looking at like at the beginning with the characters that everyone decided to bring to this, because obviously, Tom, you gave us free rein to pick a character and create a multiverse version of that character, even for characters that have not been seen on stream before. Like Talia, your character wasn't existing character from a campaign you've had off air that you've brought. Before I get into that, did anyone else have any initial concerns, comments, queries that they wanted to bring to the table?
Any concerns, folks?
I mean, queries is, do we get to go to Alton Towers?
Yes, canonically,
Yes.
It now exists and is near Silverholt. It is lovely. You have a photograph, which is weird because photos don't exist, but you've got it.
I want my Alton Towers adventure.
I just imagine that the Forgotten Realms version of a photograph is like an Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah, like super speedy portraits.
Yeah.
Like fast food, but fast art.
Yeah, it does. Like in one of the Monster Hunters episodes where we ended and we're like, should we just go to a theme park? So me being me and being like, it canonically exists. It exists. There are theme parks in Faerun. Yes.
I think you did it in Busy Bees 2 anyway, didn't you?
Yeah, down in Hades. So there is... Look, if you want to go to a Carnival of the Damned, they do exist. But this is Alton Towers. This is great. They put in a saw
Specifically.
ride, I think.
Yeah. What? That's Thought Park.
I don't know. I don't have fun. I stay here in my void.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes. I just opened it up. I was like, I want to do a multiversal thing. And when our general sort of rules of the DMs is, okay, don't blow up the universe. We've all got to play in the same space. And then I was like, interesting. What about if I just blew up alternate universes and went, that's not going to... which, of course, now does, as we said, affect the general vibe of the world, where you're like, well, nothing really matters, because there is another version of us having a good time. But yeah, no, go off Nat's question. Interested why people chose who they chose, really. Just...
Josh or Sean, do you want to start?
I wanted to play an evil version of one of the characters that I've played before. Garnot has not got an evil bone in his body, so it had to be Jakarth.
Can you imagine Garnet trying to be evil?
Yeah. It'd just be like Roger. Roger would be the evil one. No, it should have been a flip side. I should have done like a little...
Should have been Roger.
Roger. I should have played a Roger. Nuts. Oh, well, next time.
Next time.
I'm just sitting there imagining like evil Garnet being like, yeah, I'll cut you.
Yeah.
Well, is that what I'll do? Are you sure is that what you do when you're evil?
You say that... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, I think it would be like the stuff happened with Jakarth. Like, evil Garnot would come and would accidentally die. And then this Garnot's like, oh, actually, turns out I'm the most powerful in the multiverse now. Oh, okay.
Well, I was going to say, like, even though this was evil Jakarth, as soon as you absorbed the werewolf Jakarth, you became Poppy.
Yeah, that had a massive effect. I enjoyed that. That was fun, though. It was fun to not be such an evil version of Jakarth. So, because he was a bit like not talking that much. I said he's not going to say much. He'll say like one-word sentences, and then proceeded to then have full conversations.
Always the way, isn't it?
Yes.
He had a lot to talk about, though, with his werewolf form.
He did. Chicken wings.
And the chicken wings. Very, very important. Very important. Sean, what about you with Georgie? Georgie, not old.
I mean, I felt like it needed to be someone who I'd played quite a bit, or that the audience would kind of recognise well. So it was pretty much between Georgie or possibly Aoife. I think they were my two front runners. But like the thing with Aoife was like an alternative thing that would happen for him is he didn't get frozen in time, in which case I wouldn't be playing Aoife, I'd be playing a descendant from a timeline where the pig folk never got erased and or any of that. which just seemed slightly less interesting, I guess. I mean, it'd be perfectly fine to play a descendant of Eofor, but yeah, alt Georgie just kind of called out to me. And funnily enough, Josh, I did briefly consider like alt Georgie being the rat with a robot turtle. But I also didn't want to step on Chris's toes by having like another rat folk come into the universe. Like that's kind of their thing. And yeah, just even if it was an alternate universe, like just gonna leave that there and give Murin their pathos. So yeah, that made my decision fairly easy, really.
Nice. And Talia, do you want to tell us how and why Karen came to be?
Well, I mean, so again, I'm newish here, new, and I've only got 2 characters before. Moira would have completely changed the tone because Moira's already an edgelord, just to start off with, where things are relatively going generally kind of okay, although not perfect. Or I could do like bad version that would have just gone places, and I thought it just wouldn't have been fun. It's just been very depressing all the time. And then the other one was Daria, and I'm like, I didn't want to do that to her. She's too nice.
she was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
You could have maybe done like non-Dampier Moira. Like Moira never vampire, so never edgelord, I guess. Gone the other way.
I'm just having a lovely day out.
I could have, but I think that was taking so much mental time just to think about who she would be with that, because I think that was all tied into like her creation when I put them together like that. So, but then I was like, Karen's canonically a traveler. So I was playing what Karen in, and Karen existed before I played them in a game with Sean off camera. So, and Karen literally started off as just randomly going into different universes with other games. I just went, and it ended up always being the same person in every game. And I was like, this would work perfectly. Just bring them in, and they've got such a nice go with the flow, but like friendly intensity about it. And I thought, yeah, let's go do that. And that was real.
I mean, friendly intensity, I think, is like capitalized on both words. Like very, very intense, but also very friendly.
The fun for Gatecrasher going, oh, they're all terribly messed up. Oh dear. Oh no. Yeah.
And how much of the because obviously did you know Tom was gonna put voices in your head, let alone who?
I mean, there was a kind of hint of it when I was bringing in like my warlock patron, that there was a connection there throughout. Having extra voices, or even having the first voice to start off with in a present, but having the extra ones was totally okay. So I personally was not expecting that, and going, ooh, that's an interesting turn of events.
They never do.
Karen just went okay, and that was just like.
Yeah. There's that moment of like looking into your eyes and going, there is more than just some fey hag in here. Oh no.
All of that. It's fun. I'm going to turn the question on to you though. So, you started off with 2 different characters in your first episode. What brought you to those 2? And then what made you specify the one you're going to end up with?
Tom wanting the carnage. But a little bit of everything. I did have 3 that I was debating with, and that my third character that I might have brought back was Ildrathni, who, if you'd have brought Moira, it would have been 2 grumpy Dampier clerics, basically. But my alternative version of Ildrathni would have been if she'd not run away from Manzorius Maladata, and in a world where maybe he was more evil leaning, and she just joined the Maladata clan and been like essentially the enforcer of the clan, and gone around just stomping down anyone who opposed them. So she would have been full on wrathful, oathbreakery paladin type. So, but as you said with Moira, that would have been a lot of dark energy. Like, I think the level that we had with Jack was good because it was balanced with everything else we had. There is a version of this campaign where we were all super dark, super edgelordy, which I don't think would have been bad. It would have been just very different. But yeah, then with I was genuinely like, I genuinely don't know between Nora and Tony, because they both had very good reasons for being there, which is why we ended up doing the fake out at the start, because I was like, I don't know, I feel like Tony would match the energy, but I also want Nora to have an exit clause.
Which is sort of she
Not
can
really.
survive. Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on how much longer that plane that she's on continues to exist before Ragnora gets there. I think her time might be running out.
It wasn't going to end that day.
No. She's got a few days at least.
Yeah.
She'll figure something out, I'm sure. But yes, pleased that Tony ended up being the final selection. I think worked quite well. If you'll all excuse me for talking a lot.
That's fine. I loved Tony. Like, honestly, I think with the level of chaos and shenanigans, I loved that Tony ended up somehow being the party leader.
Yeah.
Well, she is a princess. So,
The
you know.
princess.
That's how it works. And now she possibly has a new home. There's a goddess who's like, although unfortunately her champion has now returned from the dead, so you might have to fight it out with Pip.
I can fight Pip. It's fine.
You definitely could take, yeah, especially this. Just shove him down, push him on the ground, like you did with Sawbones. Just yeet him over a tree.
Yeah,
and
just
done.
eat him away.
Yeah.
I do have to correct everybody now. It's not Tony. It's El
Bandito.
Bandito.
Thank you.
Stones at everyone.
Stones for everyone.
Kobolds, no.
We're not in the Feywild at the moment. It's not as dangerous.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. Because she has canonically introduced herself to people as Tony before. But, you know.
Well, she's also got the thing of having multiple names. So, like, if names have powers, you're like, you got Fraction.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know my last name. You
No.
don't know my dad.
The first. To be fair, I don't think she knows her dad.
Doesn't even know her dad.
No. We had a weird, like, implication in Busy Bees that maybe it was Tom Nook from the Animal Crossing series, but it's not canon confirmed, so...
It's not canon, though.
It's not canon.
And the Feywild is just like a little tanuki who's like, hello, welcome to my island.
Do you want to pay me a lot of money?
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, you put down a leaf. Turns out that's a wardrobe. Fey magic.
Fey magic. I mean, it makes sense for Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
So Tom, were you pleased with the roster of characters you ended up with? Were there any that you were expecting us to go for that we didn't?
Oh, good question. No, I was happy where having it was like, okay, I've got a connection to these characters and I know them, and then fun, and then just been like coming in and going, oh, I'm actually a multi-universal traveling, and I'm like, absolutely perfect. Just the chaos aspect of also, like we said, like at the beginning, it was like you also convinced a drug dealer to go straight and go talk to his mum. Just it was as you said, like talking with Nat, we're going, what's the vibe here? Is it going to be too much having a chaos princess? I'm like, no, I think we said it's like the second Suicide Squad as opposed to the first Suicide Squad, you know, where we can have a talking weasel or a man whose arms come off. But as I said, the lovely thing of like going, like I'm a deep, intense, angry cat. I'm now a dog. I'm now a dog, and I'm going to spend most of episode 3 just eating. I'm not sure how much. I think Jakaf maybe said about 10 things. And just was like, I'm just tucking in, walking around with the chicken wings and the butterflies. I
will just before you move on, Tom, I will say, like, if you listened to the 3rd episode on the podcast, I hope you had a lovely time. But you might have felt like Josh was being particularly quiet that episode. But if you like hop on Twitch or YouTube and have a little look through, like, he is in character the entire time, even though he's not saying anything, and it is adorable.
This is the thing I've always said, that I love watching the episodes back again, because like when you're DMing, you're focusing and then watching even like Nat is very good at doing the what when I say something like, no, Nat, I can't deal with this right now. Just accept it's weird. Also, episode 3, we're all in costumes, so that's another reason to watch back the. Yeah, no, I think
sort of
well, you came as a twist,
a rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put something on your head. That's costume.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about episode 3, though, it was that in character, just quite in character things that made the ending for me, and it broke my personal heart because I just got used to. Okay, we're gonna keep Puppy. I love that. Oh no, you've made a decision.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Decisions were made.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about that while we're on the topic then?
Yeah.
Should we talk about Josh? Josh has muted himself and
Yeah, you sip your juice. You ever think, what have you done, Josh?
Well, I
What
went a
have you
bit
done?
dry there, a bit nervous about it.
Hydrate.
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 Hydrate. I already had a drink. Yeah. So, Josh, were you when you decided to, what was it you put on the mask? Or you invited Bad Loki.
Yeah, I said to Broken Glass that if they wanted a body that wasn't going to fail, something along those lines, take mine. The intention was to crush the mask in my hands, but I wasn't strong enough.
And did you envision that would lead to character death?
No,
Again, they never do.
they never do. No, I was expecting for Jack to not come out of the campaign anyway, because of the way he was sort of like a one and done type of character anyway. But I wasn't expecting it in that way.
Fair. And Tom, did you have that in mind of like beforehand going into it, thinking, oh, if any of them put the mask on, this is how it's going to go?
Yeah. Has anyone here played the first Diablo? Just to throw it out there. There's a whole thing where you are like, oh yeah, I'm going to fight Diablo. And you get like the crystal, which is like, oh, all the evil. And your character is then uncontrollably forced to slam it into their own forehead and then becomes the villain. And that was the thing where I was just like, cool, this mask is the bad thing here, that poor Broken Glass is hanging there like a puppet, really. If anyone takes that mask and puts it on their face, I'm just be like, yeah, that's soul death. That's, although we don't actually know what happened to Broken Glass, we managed to cut away. I'm sure she's absolutely fine in a Feywild whose goddess just died. Yeah, no,
That's
All the
claimed it.
powers.
yeah.
Came to all the towers.
Yeah,
There was a stop off.
just you go back to this poor little Kenku who's like, do you want to go to Alton Towers? Come on. We could go on the log flume. Again, haven't been to Alton Towers. Yeah, so vaguely. And to be honest, it's me. Of course it's going to turn all dark and horrible and then be like, yes, you wanted ultimate power and you got it. Yeah, evil mask. Just, you can't trust evil masks. Although I did also realise in the film, the mask is Loki. That's the thing. I was like, oh good, I'm doing the mask. Yeah, I think, like I said, I like having the repercussions for the characters, like ahead of Crash and Burn, where I was like, cool, if you try and sleep here, bad things are going to happen, and I'm going to say that. You want to have your long rest? Now you're being attacked. Yeah, so I was at the back of my mind, I was like, just don't touch the mask. Just poke it with a stick, put it in a bag of holding, and throw it in a hole. That's how you should deal with most of your artifacts, just throw it in a hole.
Preferably a portable hole with a bag of holding.
Well, if you're that decadent, then...
Did have a bag of holding. I don't think Tony would have parted with her spangly sack, though.
Again, you never should. Tony's
No.
spangly sack.
No.
Yeah.
What was I was gonna say something about the yeah, you were encouraging Tony to touch the mask and wear the mask, and shame on you.
Oh no! I would have given Tony everything she wanted, all the power that she ever.
You don't know what she wants.
I think the mask would decide what she wanted, and that's a terrible thing. You want ultimate power, and you want to destroy the multiverse, don't you? You want that. I mean, because that was what Broken Glass got into it, because her love was killed on a gatecrasher mission and was trying to find a version of him. And then the mask was basically like, no, we've got other things here. We'll get to that. So she's still looking, but that is the horror of a bit. Actually, now I realize, like the first Spider-Man Across the Universe thing, where it's just sort of like, hey, you don't know who I am, but you're coming with me. You're like, no, but I've got a home. You're like, no, you're with me now. Bad mask, folks. Put it in a hole, in a portable hole, out of the way. Don't put them on your face, especially now it's Halloween. Any of you? Halloween's gone, so you shouldn't have any haunted masks around at the moment. But PSA.
Some people just live that haunted mask life, though, Tom. So
exactly.
Don't judge them for that.
I'm very judgmental.
I was gonna say, well, obviously we didn't quite get the full Broken Glass debrief backstory in game because we were already running very over and had important theme park visits to do. So I like to think that maybe Alt Georgie has a cup of tea with her at some point and gets the true story. Not that he'd be able to tell the rest of us about it.
Well,
I guess.
I mean, Alt Georgie let you all go, but I'm sure he can communicate. Like the mists, there's effects, and as we said, the gate crashers seem to be jumping in and out, rather free will.
That's a good point, though. So, Sean, do you know what the extent of Alt Georgie's power is over the Boneyard? Is it like once claimed? Could he pull the, like, obviously you said you could let people go if on your whim, but could you pull people back on your whim?
I don't know. It's not really something that we ever kind of discussed, I think, when we were doing Call of the Void. Like, even though three of us were fighting over it, I think the repercussions of it were more like, I mean, kind of like the soul death putting on the mask thing. It's like, you do realize that this will make your character too powerful to be a character anymore. Like, they will have to become a DM PC. Like, we never really discussed it, but so I'm going to say yes. Infinite power.
I think
Terrifying.
I think it's imagination. It's like, if you've got a big enough imagination, like, I want this to happen, or like, I've just imagined an entire Tarask made of bones. You're like, yeah, go ahead. It's like being in the astral sea, where you're like, you're thinking enough, and that means you can fly. Yeah.
It did occur to me after we'd recorded the last episode that, like, we had in-game given the Tarask an escape clause, because all the Tarask has to do is decide it doesn't want skin anymore, and it will no longer be glued to the other Tarask.
Yeah.
But will the Tarask how intelligent is a Tarask?
Not.
I'm going to look it up. Carry on talking.
Like, would it even think about that? Even if it saw someone going, I don't want skin anymore.
Now it's just sort of glued there with its bony love, And
that's also my question as well, is like, is Tony obviously decided to keep the skin free look for the Alton Towers visit, but is that her now locked into that, or could she put it back now? Does she have to be in the Boneyard to do that?
Got to go around like the character in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, just kind of staple it back on.
Yeah. Make it even more horrifying.
Or you get like a felt covering. It's just like, it's just a hat.
Yeah.
Tarask has an intelligence of 3, so probably not.
I think we're fine. I think we're fine.
Yeah.
And I mean, the part of the reason why it was jumping is because of the key in the stomach, which I now think has kind of been dampened being in the Boneyard. Which, if Georgie's like, nah, you're not going anywhere, you belong here, and the Tarask's like,
come back.
Yeah, just.
It could have made things worse, though, because if it's glued to a skeletal Tarask and then decides to teleport, would there not be a Tarask and a skeletal Tarask going around the
a sentient skeleton? That's a living thing. So, yeah, that's a problem for future.
But importantly, the giant skeleton creature is the one in charge of where they go and what direction they face. So the Tarask can only shout angrily at the sky, really, and spit at the sky.
Very angry backpack, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So as long as the giant skeleton creature stays chill, it's fine, right?
We'll come up with a name for it one day.
Would that creature be under Alt Georgie's
Georgie.
control.
This is what I'm
Yes.
saying. Alt Georgie now has a Tarask cannon.
Oh no.
Well, I already established that there were things that were intentionally trying to invade. So if that happens, old Georgie's like, here you go, cannon.
Some things to chew on for you.
Yeah. Although you probably are going to get a message from Hansi being like, hey, how are you doing? Alternate version of me, sort of. Yeah, cool. Want to join the book club? Actually, I don't know how much Hansi reads. But yeah, no, you've opened up a new world. You know, it's sort of like a new chat room of all like the Dreadlords. Strahd von Zarovich just there going, what? I like being in the mist. This is fine. Have you seen my girlfriend? No, Strahd. No, we haven't.
Have you considered therapy?
Next campaign.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Has Karen gone through Curse of Strahd?
Talia has gone through Curse of
Mm.
Strahd.
Okay.
I think Karen would succeed delightfully. Yeah, very willing to shoot things they can't talk down, and very persistent in the talking part.
I really want to see it now. Hello, my dear. Would you like this delicious pie? No, thank you.
Have you considered therapy?
Why are you so obsessed about this woman who just doesn't love you? Don't you have any self-worth? You need to go and find the love for yourself first, Mr. Stradi.
Oh yeah, call
Mr.
him a pet name. Sure, that'll go down well.
You can't kill me. I'm fine.
Oh dear. Right. Well, we've managed to make it through half an hour already of just waffling before I've even rolled that dice.
Oh,
so
I think roll that dice.
I'm going to do
Roll
it.
that dice.
Let's look at some
Oh.
official questions.
Roll a dice.
Roll that dice. Roll that dice. That is a number 8,
Ooh.
which this is to everyone.
Oh,
What was the most surprising moment? Silence.
Losing my character halfway through this session.
I think for me that might have been it as well.
Yeah, where I was just like, we need to call a break. I need
Let's
to go.
break there.
Yeah. Yeah, so well, I was like, okay, I think I know where this combat's fully prepared to go. I'm going to probably kill these characters, and then we're going to have to deal with that. And then just go, and also me being going, oh, you're all dead. You realise that? You're in the boneyard. You all got exploded. You're like, oh, all right. Can I have my skin back? Yeah, go on. Yeah, I think that was again for the big halfway through plot twist. That was pretty shocking.
just trying to
just-
think of like other kind of big moments. Like, I think the subplot love story between Gatecrasher and Fall of Light Snow kind of caught me by surprise, because I think for a lot of it we were talking about, okay, we're going to have to backstab Gatecrasher, we're potentially going to have to kill Jack, just kind of making a long list of characters that need to not make it to the end of the episode, and then actually I mean, one of those things happened and we didn't have to make that choice, but yeah,
Because we're the good guys.
I'd have done it.
Great.
I think Tony would as well. I mean, she already almost sort of sealed the deal by fireballing you all, acid balling you all, I guess.
And also stealing the key. That was a plot thread where I was like, okay, like where I had to be like, hey, I've established this is a 25 Arcana, and as in Fracture, this will evaporate you.
I didn't remember you setting that DC for it in your previous campaign, and
Yeah.
Tony didn't know at all. So
Tony wasn't
you know,
there, so.
Yeah, it's a powerful thing, and I don't trust this person. Better for me to have it.
Why don't you put the mask on, Nat? Just put the mask on. It would solve so many problems.
She's too smart for that.
I was gonna say, I think I had 2, and it's how it kind of just set the game. The game of it being chaos was already there, but the fact that like there was the fight between Puppy and Jack, and then Puppy still lived on as part of Jack's personality, and
That was
that was
very
one thing that triggered me. And then the other thing, when you threw out a whole like encounter because Karen just took therapy very well, and between those two things, I was like, okay, there's going to be some casualties, but we can do this as a 99% pacifist run. And we'll still fight things, but we can make this work for us, and we can still survive. And there was this point halfway through the game where I'm like, none of our team are going to die, or at least very few of us.
None of the team. None of the team. Shh in the corner, Josh.
Only by choice will any of us die.
Only by choice are we can make this happen. Regardless of that's the intentions, we can make this work. And I was like going, yes, I like this.
I will say though, I think your estimation of like 99% pacifist run, I would say, and I think the others might agree with me, that's mostly down to Karen just being terrifying and excellent at talking.
I mean, Georgie was quite happy to watch.
Yeah.
I'm not going to join the fight. Only if it actually affects me.
Look, I think Karen could only do it because, though, we had like the brawn willing to back it up. We had the smarts trying to work out what the situation was, and like the wisdom trying to go and find out all the secrets and things. Like Karen just being the therapist could only work because everyone else we were like such an integral team.
Ah, you could have just taken that, but no, you threw it back at all of us. You sweetheart.
I was going to say there's also an alternate universe where Chippy got eaten by the snake, and that would have been a very different time, where you're just like, no, he comes back to me, he's too precious.
Well, one, Chippy is a fey creature and would come back anyway, but two, that would have just turned into a straight up 100% murder run after that anyway.
Yeah, just simple as that.
Jack would have been all for that.
Murder, I mean, well, that's the point with Jack, is would Jack go for full-on murder hobo if it wasn't other Jakarths?
Probably not, to be fair.
A lot of effort.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort for him to have to kill somebody else, other people. But going and find a weaker versions of himself is easier, and actually served a purpose for him.
Nice.
And now
any other surprising
timeline
ones?
Jakarth's much more powerful. You know, smash level up.
Yep.
Yeah. This isn't like a talking as a free action thing. You have a full memory of what happened, of like a very weird couple of hours as you pop back and Giacomo's like, so we're going to deal with these various problems? You're like, just had to go to the land of the dead for a bit. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Jakarth's very in demand. Like, he's very busy, very in demand. Everyone wants him to just like, look, you're more powerful than us. Come and sort this out for us. No, not going to happen. Fine. He very lazily refused to help in Murderous Symphony as well.
Yeah.
But he didn't know there was a problem in Murderous Symphony.
His I was going to say bat senses. I'd say he's closer to a Batman than a Spider-Man. His Jakarth senses should have been tingling.
Draconic senses are tingling.
You should always be prepared. You're like, danger? All our high-level characters are like, the call for adventure? Is it now? Is it now?
It's always now. I'm going to roll that dice one more time.
Roll that dice!
Roll that dice!
Which NPC gets the MVP award?
The alternate version of Tony. That fight. The fight between the two.
Full of light snow.
Was he helpful? Yeah, I was going to say, Full of Light Snow was much more helpful, and Medusa was much more helpful, but Sawbones was entertaining.
I was going for pure entertainment value.
Yeah.
Was Gatecrasher helpful? She opened the doors.
Yeah.
She was the door person.
She wasn't good in combat.
She pointed her rapier at things, and that was it.
It's not the actual usefulness of like the fighting and things, but I think it was that point of empathy and connection with the bigger picture, so that we, one, had a vague idea of what was going on, and two, we were like, okay, you're not all bad, so we're gonna try and find a thing. Because I think we majority did not like most of the Gatecrashers. There was a few, but it was like Fall of Light Snow was ours. Gatecrasher Medusa started off as ours by default because we liked Fall of Light Snow, and then just kind of went, okay, and then it kind of grew. I love them. I love them so much.
as I said, for those of you who watch Crash and Burn, a Fall of Light Snow walks up, sees the keys, and goes, "Oh, are you gatecrashers?" The party say, "No," and she's like, "Oh," turns around and walks off again, and I'm like, "Not the plot, guys." That's also where Keeper came in, who I also like the fact that Keeper made a PowerPoint presentation. That's just
Useful.
As multimedia. Yeah, Gatecrasher. I don't think this ever came up. Medusas have true sight, so she knew that Georgie was there, but didn't care. She just was so sad. And because, as I said, she's being punished. They're like, "Oh, you wanted to take us down. Congratulations, you're now middle management." She's like, "I don't want..."
Can we also take a moment to appreciate Tom's roleplay as Gatecrasher? With the scarf and the glasses, keep constantly taking them off and putting them back on to roleplay other characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Consistency.
Commitment.
Commitment.
Committed consistency.
I mean, also, Sturshka leveled you up mid-combat.
I was going to say, yeah, I did. I was waiting to see if you were going to chat about Medusa anymore, but yeah, absolutely. Sturshka Nutmeg was cool to see her doing her thing and being not just an elk. And she could have been awful, but no, she was actually quite nice. Was Mother?
Yeah, no, she's been through some tough stuff. You got the nicer version. I think we said the one that Tony had was very bitter and angry, and then was like, "No, don't go out in the world. It's cruel and horrible." But this one was more just like, "Yeah, we're just having a lot of parties." I mean, yeah, my champion got chopped to bits about 4 months ago, but got this rabbit now.
And it's all fine.
Everything's fine. Everything is beautiful and nothing hurts.
I think that was something I missed off earlier when we were talking about why we chose those characters. Also, to be fair, Tony was a character created to prod Tom. So I felt it was only fair that you had a chance to prod back.
Yeah. By making a lovely mother character for you who loves you very much and was going to probably buy you a nice little... You're going to get a nice pair of dungarees or something. Just... She's probably going to make you have a bath, which you're probably not going to like.
No, that'll never happen.
You have it once a week. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's
Sawbones was entertaining though.
Yeah.
The outrage.
The raccoon Tanuki who wanted to be a deer doctor, which I've said I started watching One Piece and then I was like, "Oh, we've got Tony. Okay, so now we've just got a terrible little rabid little creature who I think that was a great thing that as soon as it got a bit weird, you were like, "No, absolutely not. Off you go."
No, thank you.
Nope. Goodbye.
We'll point out as well, one of Tony's other middle names is Chopper.
Yeah. So, yeah. We're deep here, folks.
So many layers.
The meta is like...
Oh dear. Any more on... I feel like Chippy needs an honourable mention as well.
With his little hat and his spear.
Just being adorable and supportive.
Yeah. Maybe the...
Oh, you go. You used to be Chippy, so...
and Roberto as well.
Yeah, I was going to say Roberto.
Who has always been here.
Yeah, Roberto's always there. I was also going to just maybe throw in a mention for the drug dealer and his uncle, who I don't know if you ever actually explicitly said on stream who they were. You just left it up for the audience to guess, didn't you, to work it out? And I imagine we'll do the same now.
Wait, what? Were they particular people? Should I have made notes?
No, from episode. I realise we're saying this, but there has been there was a drug dealer in the first episode, and then in the world that a certain undead creature pulled herself out of the hells and destroyed Clemvor.
The one, right? Yeah, the one. So we're talking about the ones where that Georgie sat down and had tea with.
Yes,
not the ones that pulled Faerun into the world.
The amateur drug dealer, not
the amateur drug dealer. Also, having to point out that Faerun never actually took any of the drugs that I gave him.
Just collecting.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you were given them and you're like, you need to learn a lot about rocks.
That's too much. I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
let's go back to Georgie's tea companions then. For those who didn't quite spot.
So the uncle is they're both Viridians. So there's Utus Viridian and Ilix Viridian. Ilix is from one of my first characters, who actually in our world also got to become Lord Viridian and has gone odd thanks to the Count of Catalan's help. And Utus is his step nephew. His is like, let's not pretend we're a lord. Name is Uslam Din. So that is Uslam having gone to school. Not because that's the thing, there wasn't a gatecrasher in that universe, so they didn't have a key, so they didn't end up going on crazy adventures. Actually had a nice time, resolved his curse, came back, and it was like, what a wonderful world we're in. By the way, the dead are walking. I'm sure all the friends from the school are absolutely fine and having a lovely time. Everything's although, again, talking about like Curse of Strahd, it did become very like, oh, we're just travelling around in our caravan, and it's very Von Richten. Just like, everything's fine here. I've lost limbs to the monsters, but I'm having a lovely time. Yes, so that is my thing of just going, cool, just leave it as it is. Leave it as it is. It's one of my characters. Tom, just stop.
It's a good point. Did we, I don't know, the editor Kobolds, did we have a tally for how many of Tom's own characters he shoehorned into this campaign?
I think we can pop them up on the screen now. What do you mean you didn't do the research? There's about, I won't say there's, well, that's the problem. It's like there's characters I played before. There's like 4 or 5, you know. Who knows? Maybe Delaney was there in the background. Just, yeah, it's all about me. That's why I'm such a good DM, because I'm like, interesting, you all want to have your own adventures. No. I shall do the talking to myself. I shall have a 20-minute scene where I talk to me. You may all listen, but you may not participate.
You joke, Tom, but we all know that you could do it.
It's just, people keep asking me to do a talkie as a free action, where it's just one of my characters, and I'm just like, well, you've seen how good I am at putting scarves on and off.
Well, one week when we struggle to get anyone else, then
it's very Midsummer Night's Dream. It's like, I shall play the woman. Yeah, sure you will, Tom. Good. So
we
glad we have you
make
on
an
board.
excellent bottom.
Thank
I'm going to
you.
roll that dice.
Roll that dice.
Roll that dice.
Okay. Oh, interesting. So we've just picked apart all of the NPCs. For the players, if you could pick an NPC from this campaign to play as a PC, which one would you pick?
This is a new question.
Nice.
Have we just never rolled this?
Maybe we've never rolled
Yeah.
it.
Not on a game, on a thing
Unless
I played.
someone has edited the list, but I don't remember.
It was me. I'm altering the scales.
I'm going to go for the easy answer and say Roba, because
No, not allowed. You're not allowed
Damn.
to do that one.
damn.
I mean, I would say the other obvious answer would be either Sturshka or Loki, because, get them god powers.
I was going to go for Sylvie so hard.
I'm gonna.
No, go. I was just feeling silence.
I for the shits and gigs, I'm going to say Keeper.
Then you've got all the pressures of dealing with what's going on behind the scenes at Gatecrasher HQ.
Yeah, but then I also have all the hidden knowledge.
It would be a fun one shot where it's just like, because a lot of it is like going, cool, we've lost this key. This gatecrasher's disappeared. This gatecrasher is like turned into someone else. You're like, oh, for God's sakes, move it.
It's not going well for them.
They haven't had a rest in about a century. And Fall of Light Snow is supposed to step up. But now even Fall of Light Snow might step down and be like, I want to go on holiday with my girlfriend. It's like, we don't have time. We've literally just had a revolution.
That's who I would play. I'd play Snow because there is so much interesting backstory, but also so much like possible progression for her character development. And I would love to be Snow in that kind of. How we should go with this.
It gets because again, sort of like so, it turned up in Crash and Burn, where there was the Broken Keys, who were again another traitorous group, as was Dottie. But Snow was kind of working with them because she wanted to make her girlfriend happy. So it's that weird thing, like Gatecrasher gets punished by becoming a Gatecrasher. Snow gets punished by you're going to keep doing your job and you're going to do it well. It's not a good place, folks. Don't become a Gatecrasher, especially when they turn up in their weird little portals. Don't do it.
Karen has decided it's going to be their one-person HR department.
It would really help.
I think Karen, if anyone was up to the job, it would be Karen.
Keep at it, Bib.
That anyone having any problems just walk in and they leave knowing exactly what they need to do.
At least get to go practice shooting things.
We'll take them down to the shooting range and just so how are things?
I'm between two. I really liked the gatecrasher who handed out magic items.
Oh yes, the pig folk,
Yeah, I thought that would be quite fun to play. But then also the person on the Autumn Court who Tony employed to steal the key.
Sneaky squirrel
would be a fun rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be my Bramble the squirrel person. Yeah, I think they would possibly be my choice.
Because again, their plan was, I'm going to steal the key, but my plan is to get hit in the face while I'm doing it, because there's no greater distraction. Yeah, Bramble.
Genius.
That was nice, Nat, where you were just like, who do I know? And I was like, right, okay, very twitchy squirrel folk. Yeah.
I mean, excellent coming up with fey woodland creatures on the fly, it has to be said.
It's why I like this Autumn Court, because there's a lot of like awoken animals, and then I'm like, they're an elf, but they've got a giant squirrel's tail, as opposed to our timeline where it's like, it is Pip. He lives in the woods. There are mean dryads. It is miserable. Again, this is why I'm like, oh, they like my NPCs. Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, before you get too much of an ego, I'm going to roll the dice again.
No, I'm playing every character.
Roll the
dice.
Thank you.
They're not good at timing.
We don't try to.
Okay. Well, given that we spoke about characters we didn't play that would have got this award earlier, which PC gets the Edgelord award? She says, slowly looking towards Josh in the corner.
Josh lost that crown,
and actually towards Sean a little bit as well for the end.
Yeah.
Probably my most edgelordy I've ever been, actually.
I mean, you're literally a lord.
Yes, but was I on the edge?
I mean, bones are pretty edgy.
And you had to make the choice of where I was like, do you fully embrace your power? And you're like, yeah, sure. All your skin fell off. Yeah.
I think it's more of the case of that Jack was the edgelord wannabe and Alt George was the edgelord all along.
I mean,
the edgelord don't want to be.
Edgelord don't want to be. The opening sequence, and this was something else that I thought was really fun, Tom, was the introductions for every single character, and like the little scenes that we role played to get them all together. And Jax was just so cool. Was very, very cool and edgelordy. And I that's a testament to both of you in that. But yeah, I'd say maybe for me that's like the edgelord moment, and then Georgie is overall gets the crown.
Yeah,
I mean, I did get in my opening sequence to old Georgie killed his own mum and never realised where his parents went. Never got that catharsis that old Georgie has.
Yeah.
Old Georgie and new Georgie, I suppose I could call them.
Yeah. And your mentor also slowly died of some unknown bone disease where, I think Georgie had the saddest backstory. And this is talking about a character who watched their entire universe burn up to a Tarask. I mean, El Bandito remained relatively upbeat considering.
She cracks on with things. But to be fair, Alt Georgie was not wallowing too much. Still waters run deep though.
He was grieving. That was the thing. That was the distinction, I think. But
El Bandito grieved just, by painting dicks on everything.
It's how you work through these things. Yeah.
Ooh, Talia, I think we just lost your audio. Say it again.
No, I'm just quietly muttering to myself about how I just want to hug everyone so bad.
Everybody did need all the PCs, most of the NPCs, even corrupted Jakarth, who just got whelmed. Yeah, I was looking at stats for a lich. I was like, yeah, liches are. Oh my god, what do you mean you did 60 points of damage? As he literally just crawls through the bones. And like, I think, Jakar spent most of that time with just his foot on his back going, yeah, no, we're working very... It's just body's crawling. You're all lovely edgelords in your own way. It's just how... Especially like, oh yeah, I die in multiple universes and then I just pop up. It's fine.
I think this is the thing. Like we even kind of worked it out in character in like what episode 2 or 3, that we were the Suicide Squad. Like we've been picked because we are so expendable.
Yeah.
Unless you're Tony and you kind of you steal the ticket and you're just like, even
Tony is Harley Quinn, of course.
Yeah.
Out of them. Specifically one of my references for that character. But who would everyone else be?
Oh.
Going off of the newer movie, King Shark.
And I'm stuffed with that one. Possibly Idris Elba's character.
Oh yeah.
In the I forget how many times they rebooted it. Like third one.
Second one.
Are we counting Birds of Prey?
Birds of Prey.
We'll throw Birds of Prey in. You're like, who are you? I was about to say Elon Musk. It's not Elon Musk. It's Roman. Yeah. Musk.
You and McGregor with the possibly worst American accent ever.
You were very good at Moulin Rouge. Don't let them take air away from you. Yeah.
My DC knowledge is very specifically limited to like target focused characters.
You're like, I'm Batman. You're like, sure.
I'm Batman.
Robin the Third the entire way. It's my Blowbow, and I will hold on to him. I don't know. The closest I can think of is the Rat Girl, but honestly.
Oh yeah, no, actually, yeah. Where you
with
just
like more equilibrium about things.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Sean, you look deep in thought.
I was thinking that I would quite like to rewatch those films, even though that feels even though that feels quite masochistic, just to catch all the bits and pieces. I enjoyed the last one.
Yeah, and I'm Rick Flag, just trying to keep everything on track, and then be like, no. Also, have you met Katana? She contains souls in her sword. I don't want to be here. I'm just so tired.
I think I'm specifically picking Idris Elba because when Prime Universe Jakarth turned up and, absolutely just owned being a ranger, it was very much like that very first scene where it's like, well, he's me, but he does everything I do, but better.
Yeah. Jakarth Prime was John Cena.
Yeah.
Blink and you miss him and you can't see him.
Yeah.
We did end up there at the end with 3 rangers and an artificer, which ideal party balance. Exactly what you want. No close
Ranger.
Actually, no. To be fair, Alt Georgie was a close quarters fighter, but yeah.
2 levels of cleric.
That'll do it. Occasional mace to the face.
Yeah.
I think we've got time for one more
Speed round.
Roll that dice question.
Roll the dice.
Depending on how speed round we go.
Roll that
I
final
just
dice.
rolled the same number, and we've rolled that one as well.
Good start.
I keep rolling like solid middle of the
it's a pass.
thing. I guess I was going to say, was there any secrets that we didn't discover for Tom? But I don't think that's a speed round question.
Well, we
That's a
begin.
full bar in itself.
I mean, I could very quickly go yes and no, but I was willing to, because things were so flexible where I was like, hey, if you go off this way, like we said, like, what do the drugs do? So the one with the rocks, if you took it, it would give you a plus. Oh, you don't want to know?
I don't want to know, just in case it comes up in an epilogue episode.
You won't know, folks.
We will never know.
It'll give you a plus.
It will give you a plus, but you need to learn about rocks. Just keep that in the back of your head.
Theology, very important.
Yeah. It doesn't actually have any effect. It's just like, I just want you to learn things. Just learn the state capitals. Again, things were flexible, like, sort of like the fact that there was an entire combat going on off, like, just turned into a giant snake. Not that that's a problem. We're just moving on. Yes and no, but I feel happy with what got revealed. There wasn't any, if it doesn't get revealed, it doesn't get revealed. Also, like, what happened to the suit of armor? Because again, in Crash and Burn, that's a former gatecrasher who got corrupted, and he's not killed. And I don't think he got invited into the boneyard, so he's still out there presumably.
Again.
Stomping around the Feywild.
Yeah, real problem. Do you want to roll another one?
Go on. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll cheat, and look, I
You'll
rolled
cheat?
natural 20.
Oh, well done.
Next for your character.
That's nice. Yeah.
I didn't hear
Other
what was
than
that?
obviously we're going to Alton Towers, but after Alton Towers, what is next for your character?
The bleak blackness of death.
Huh.
I mean,
Great.
that Jakarth is now part of Loki. That's part of Sylvie. So like, if we're talking about voices in the head, but Prime Jakarth has now got all the souls of other Jakarths floating around. Yeah.
I'm just imagining Stardust.
Yeah.
Just like the Council of Brothers.
Absolutely.
Because it would be the Council of Jakarths.
Just
And
sat there
good
like, ooh.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
shouldn't have done
nasty.
that.
Yeah.
I think Jakarth Prime would have gone back to having a nice camp night with Giacomo, but with the strange dog or wolf-like creature with him, as Rover would be the only spirit that he wouldn't have absorbed, and he would share custody of it with Karen. Every now and then, Rover would just disappear into a portal and appear next to Karen.
Just summoned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Prime Jakarth has been told that like Rex is dead, so that like we're gonna have a nice campfire, and then we're probably gonna go off on a little adventure, and then Hera's gonna come running in. We're like, right, yeah. Well, who knows? Who knows what they get up to? Jakarth's not going to help other people. That's it. It's going to be like
not now. Yeah. He's a much higher level than everybody else. He'd be like, oh yeah, you can go get Rex. I'm just going to sit here and watch.
I'm going to sit here and wait for the more important enemies.
The
to fight.
higher level,
I'm not going to earn experience if I deal with that, so I'll leave it to you.
I made a new friend recently who taught me to just sit and watch everything that happens and only fight when needed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad lesson. I mean, it's bad for the game. But...
What about Alt Georgie then?
Yeah.
Obviously, ruler of the Bone Zone.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think he'll instigate any changes?
I think that, because I think at the very end of the episode, Alt Georgie was talking about like, oh, we're going to start up a garden. So I think he wants to make it slightly less bony and more normal, I guess.
That's a good point, because you have the first fall. You have the special tree now.
Mm-hmm. Totally. So, yeah, start to plant things. But yeah, Alt Georgie, in terms of adventures, definitely kind of retired now. Slightly too high a level unless we do some sort of level 20 adventure again. He does have his 5 days he can use.
Which is arbitrary and almost set up by him, where he's like, "No, I get 5 days a year." You're like, no one's stopping you, but
I have asked for 10.
I think
It doesn't feel fair.
What would I do with 10? I mean, 5 seems like
it's just shy of a working week. Yeah.
Well, this was supposed to be a speed round, so apologies, team. We have now run over. But Talia, what is next for Karen?
I mean, I wasn't kidding about the one-person HR department.
Okay, great.
Absolutely going with that. It needs to be done. I kind of probably using that as just a jumping off point to kind of carry on dimension hopping, fixing a few things. I have no idea what's going to go to their power levels. Look, there might be a bunch of fluctuation going on. It's all canonical. It's going to be interesting. But then also going off and seeing all of you guys in your different places. Kind of saying hi, seeing how you were doing, and intensely planning that 5-day annual holiday for us all to get together and just hang out and do things.
Tons of multi-dimensional theme parks. Just like
I found another one to add to the list.
Yeah, we're doing a day in each one where you like, and we just travel. You're like, again, this one's in Hades. Don't drink the water.
I think for Tony, I think it would be kind of similar. Actually, I think she might settle in the Feywild that was offered for a little bit, like go back and hang with them. And but I think she'll probably, now that she's seen multiversal travel, I think she'll probably get itchy feet after a while. I think she'll suddenly, after ages, remember that she knows another gatecrasher now, and they might be able to help her find, because obviously she was accidentally pulled away from Professor Mollusk and all of the other busy bees. So theoretically, she could get back to them, and I think she'll just remember that later and go, "Oh yeah," and call on Dottie to maybe go look for them and maybe try and help the gatecrashers with whatever shit they've got going on.
I seem to remember that Wilby is canonically sleeping in a drawer somewhere at Gatecrasher HQ.
Yeah. He's just having a little snooze.
I mean, he is the one that she canonically does not care about.
No one cares about Wilby
During the entire revolution, just still asleep in the drawer.
Yeah.
Oh no, Wilby found a gun. He just started firing. Yeah, actually, that's the point where Clint, who is canonically like the third most dangerous, is like, yeah, summon the Tarask. We need to track him down. There's a bounty on his head. Yeah,
that's what she would want to know. She'd want to raid the HQ to find out what her level was.
Good question. Yeah, I think because that was the thing where they didn't know who you were, and then they realized who you were, and they were like, oh no, the terrorist has turned up.
Wow.
You resulted in the
throwing aspersions.
Yeah,
honestly.
you made weird machines. That's scary. Yeah.
Just come into my office, Tony. I've got El Bandit. I've got all of your paperwork in my office. I can't read it very well, but I found everything with your name on it, and it's now mine. So you can have it.
The important thing is that it's okay because Karen can't read very well and might not be able to put them all in the right order.
It's making notes, and it's just drawn like a lovely picture.
Karen can read. Karen can't read common very well.
Folks, don't put Karen on the list of people who can't read that we have on the wiki.
Yeah, not fair.
Not fair.
Not the best language, you know?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to have to wrap this up for time. Does anyone have any final... 10 seconds if you have a final statement, Tom.
Loki will return? Question mark.
Oh. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. And Sean is ready to fight that. Anyone else? Good. Any final thoughts, comments, concerns, queries?
Tom, who, what, where, what, when?
No,
yes.
Tom doesn't get any more time to
Yes.
That's my 10 seconds.
I liked it. Another.
Okay.
More.
Yes, more. Good. Well, thank you all for joining us for Talk Together and our Norse references at the end there. Because they were relevant, because Norse gods. You'll find us here every Friday from 6 till 7 p.m. We should be in GMT by the time this goes out. And Mondays and Tuesdays, 6 till 9 p.m., we stream our D&D games. So currently on Mondays, we will have... Josh, do you know?
Starting this Monday will be the Constant Troubles, which is Niall's new game set in Saqqara.
Ooh, Saqqara. And Tuesdays, it should be going into the final third of Gloom Falls on board. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is
time? I think we're with them for
what
a
is
little
time? Gloom Falls on Baldur's Gate is on Tuesdays, and it's a spooky gothic time. You can watch all of those on Twitch or on YouTube afterwards. On Twitch afterwards, you can listen to them as a podcast. VODs are available immediately after the stream. Look for us, Roll Together RPG, across the streamings and the socials. Thank you again to our D20 Club. You are all marvelous people. We love you very much. If you'd like to support us, you can join them from as little as one of your local currencies per month. Thank you again to our sponsors and supporters, and as ever, stay classy at the table.